Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to yet another inspiring episode of the Success Talks with Coach Tendai Mungate show. And today on the show, we are very much humbled and honored to have such a great man. He has got 13 albums to his name. He is an award-winning gospel artist here in Zimbabwe. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome on the show Pastor G.
Thank you so much, Coach Mungate. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be on Success Talks with Coach T. Mungate. What a privilege for me. Thank you so much.
Amazing. It's an honor to be having you on this show, Pastor G. And you know, for me, I'm one of those few people who grew up, not few, but among the many people who grew up listening to your music. One song that I like personally is Mabiri Bobi. Yes. So Pastor G, please do tell us a little bit about your upbringing. How did you grow up? Who is Pastor G?
Okay, in a nutshell, who is Pastor G? Okay. Pastor G, my government name is Stanley Ngone Gwanzura. I was born in the year 1970 on November the 16th.
Yes.
And I was born in Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia, where my parents were domiciled at that time because of the war. Yeah, so we that's where we were. I was born. I'm part of a family of 5, and you know, I grew up in Zambia. Did my primary school at Lusaka Boys. Then moved to Zimbabwe in 1980 at independence. Did my primary at Hague Park Primary up to grade 7. Then did my Form 1 to Upper 6 at Ellis Robbins High School in Melbourne. I basically grew up within the Melbourne area for most of my high school years, primary school years as well. I got born again 1984 in Form 1, and that kind of like sort of set the foundation for who I was going to become in the future. When I graduated high school, I worked for about 2-3 years for a engineering firm called Field Technical Sales as a trainee manager. Then around 92, I went to Bible school in Bulawayo Theological College of Zimbabwe, where I was training to become a pastor for the Baptist Church. After that, after 3 years, I graduated in 95, became the youth pastor at Calvary Baptist Church, and later became the pastor of the church for a couple of years till the year 2002, when I decided to venture full-time into music ministry, because that's where my passion lay more, into music and media ministry. And as a result of that move, I have 12 albums, as you've mentioned. Before that, I'd done 3 albums with Tidings of Love, the group I helped co-found. You know, and so that's my history basically. Pastor G, I'm married to Pamela. Got married in 1997. We have 3 children, 3 boys. The oldest is 24, turning 24 next year. The youngest is 6 years old. The middle one is 19-year-old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing your background. And please talk to us about how your music journey started. How did it start?
My music journey started basically, I started singing in high school. I used to sing in the school choir. Actually got colors for choir at Ellis Robbins High School after we won the I-Stateford. Then also at youth, I used to sing and lead worship at our youth group at Calvary Baptist. We used to call it YP then, youth program. Yeah. Then when I kind of like grew up a little bit more, I started singing covers by the likes of BB and CC Winans, Steve Green, Steve Curtis Chapman, you know, for him, you know. But it wasn't until the year 1996 when a friend of mine formed a group called Tidings of Love, and I joined to be part of that group, and then we recorded our first album in the year 1999, which had the songs Diana Chata, and Rino Shamisa. So that was my first recording project. Then we did 2 other albums with Tidings of Love. Then I also did some solo projects starting in the year 2000. I did my first solo album called Tariro. Then my second solo album came out 2003 called Reflections of a Street Preacher. So basically that's how I started forth. Till now I'm sitting on 13 albums as Pastor G and 3 albums with Tidings of Love. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this journey had some major highlights in terms of its successes and its failures. Please talk to us about some of the successes that you have achieved so far in this journey of music.
Okay, it depends how you quantify success. Because when you talk about music, in terms of the number of albums, I'm already rated as someone who's successful as a gospel artist. The number of hit songs and number 1 songs, yes, that'll be rated as success. But I guess also success can be defined from a qualitative point of view, an impact point of view. In terms of impact, those on the qualitative and impactful side, it's hard to measure and put it in like people baking bread in loaves of bread, because when it comes to Christian ministry, true success is only measured with how much impact you have on people's lives, in terms of their lives changing, in terms of them growing and pursuing God's purpose as a result of a ministry. So from a numbers game, yeah, I'm fairly successful. From a qualitative spiritual impact point of view, again, that we'll know only on the judgment day, when all our works shall be tested for what they are, put through the fire. So, but the most important thing for me is this, is being able to do what God called me to do, and be able to touch lives as a result of it. For me, that's the most important thing, yeah.
Thank you very much for highlighting those successes with us. And I totally agree with you. I think when it comes to ministry, at the end of the day, we want more souls in heaven. So thank you very much for highlighting that. I think that's very important, a very key lesson to our artists and to our young musicians that are coming up, that it's not only about the materialistic success, but it's about getting people's souls to heaven. Right? Moving on with the show, Pastor G.
Yes.
This journey, I'm sure it had some struggles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Talk to us about some of the challenges that you've faced so far, or I know there are many, but maybe you can touch on some of them.
Yeah, maybe on the challenges side of music in Zimbabwe. Yes, I think it's music in general, but when we talk about gospel music, it's the funding of the music, because we are dealing with a nation that is got macro and microeconomic challenges. So those have impact even on key indicators in terms of what we do as gospel artists. Because in as much as ministry is free and the gospel is free, it needs to be paid for. Yeah. Recording has to be recorded, has to be paid for. You have to pay for studio time. You have to pay for session artists. You have to pay for music videos. You have to pay for launch concerts and live DVD recordings. All that takes resources. So I guess the major challenge for gospel music has been in the area of resource. Secondly, it's in the area of media, because most of our media on the Zimbabwean in the Zimbabwean context is secular media, and so you are fighting to get airplay within mainstream music. Apart from the gospel shows on radio, for example, Star FM Gospel Greats, the Capital Gospel City programs, the various gospel platforms on Power FM, even ZFM and several other radio stations across the country. you're fighting to get recognition within a plethora of secular artists, you know, who are many and varied, you know. And so that's the challenge. So the second challenge is the area of media. We don't have a dedicated Christian radio station. And unlike Zambia or Kenya, where if you go to Kenya, you know, you've got Kubamba radio station. There's several other new radio stations that have popped up there. In Zambia, you've got Radio Christian Voice, which is a fantastic platform for showcasing and getting music and your message across. So I think those are the two major challenges. Then the third one maybe is piracy, simply because Zimbabwe has not yet digitally migrated, and also in the mindset of people do not want to buy music off online stores. The CD is actually on its, if not out already. CDs are out of the picture in terms of they don't make cars that play CDs anymore. You know, the migration has been to streaming, mainly streaming, mainly online platforms where you can buy music and that sort of thing. So already the mindset and the culture within the Zimbabwean context, people have not yet migrated to the idea that I can buy music online. Networks are trying their best. Buddy's got the Buddy network. Econet has got Buddy. Networks got Kulekani, Rumbidzo app, you know, to download music and play Christian content. So we are in a situation where the migration has not yet been there. It has not fully happened in terms of, you know, being able to stream and also buy music online. Sorry.
Wow. Thank you very much, Pastor G, for sharing those challenges with us. Viewers, we're going to take a short break. I'm sure most of you are curious to know more about Pastor G, about his weight loss journey as well. I'm sure most of you are curious to know about. So after this break, definitely we are going to be talking about that. Stay tuned. Success is just an attitude if you believe you can or you cannot. Either way, you are right. Those are the words of Henry Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Success Talks with Coach T Mungate, and this is your Success Tips with Coach T. And today I'll just like to talk to you about the power of attitude. Your life right now is as a result of how you're seeing it, and that's basically attitude. What do you believe about yourself? Your attitude matters. The way you perceive life matters. I want you to think of the lion. It's not the biggest animal. No, it's not. It's not your largest or tallest animal, but it's the king of the jungle. Have you ever asked yourself why it's the king of the jungle? I doubt. If you have, maybe you haven't gotten the answer. Let me give you the answer. It's because of its attitude. So what am I saying? Lessons to learn from the lion on attitude. Number 1 is be focused. Number 2, believe you can. No one can ever believe in you the way you can believe in yourself. As much as others believe in you, it's all about you believing in yourself at the end of the day. So what am I saying? What you believe about yourself is far much more important than what other people believe about you. So believe in yourself, believe you can do it, believe you are able, and you will actually succeed. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is your Success Tips with Coach Tendai Mungate. Please do subscribe to this channel to get more of these inspiring tips. Thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Success Talks with Coach T Mungate, and today we are with Pastor G, an award-winning artist. And before the break, Pastor G was just sharing with us his journey, his life story. And Pastor G, moving on with the interview, please share with us some of the key lessons that you have learned in your journey, and principles that you have learned that you would like to share with upcoming artists or anyone in general to be successful.
Yeah. I think that the 5 key points that I normally want to share with anyone who's trying to pursue purpose in life. Number 1, live life with a sense of calling. With the sense of calling, that there is a bigger assignment or there's an assignment that's bigger than you that you've been called to. I believe, because a sense of calling will always keep you through the toughest of times. When you go to the Bible, which is normally my main point of reference, is you find that Paul starts with most of his Pauline epistles says, I, Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, a bond servant, a slave. Why? Because that was his identity, that was his calling. That's what it was. That's what God called him to. Yeah. You see, your calling will always serve as a filter. It will filter out what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. It will serve as a filter. Number two, a calling will always give you a sense of accountability. It will give you a sense of accountability and a point of reference. So that when life is not making sense, your anchor will always be what your purpose is and what God has called you to do. Yeah? And it's very critical that anyone who's singing music, because if you do it as a sense of calling, you won't do it for money. The money is important because if you're doing gospel music, you need to record, so it needs to sell. It's both ministry and industry. But at the same time, when the difficult times come, because you know it's your assignment, you will stick and stay the course. No matter what comes your way, whether you are making money or you're not making money, because you feel that this is my station, this is my place that God has called me to fill on this planet. No matter what, you will stick your course, yeah, to your course. Then the second C has to do with character, because you see, your gifting, your charisma can get you to the top, but character is what will keep you there and will keep you relevant. Character is who you are when no one else sees. Character will always separate the men from the boys. Yeah? A sense of character, and I'm not talking about necessarily, perfect people, but I'm talking about character. Because character is often defined by values, what our values are, principles, convictions, what we believe in, all those things are critical. And so for me, a person developing a sense of character, who they are, a sense of who they are, what they believe in, what are their values, what do you value, what do you believe in, what are your principles that govern your life, what are your paradigms, rules of belief, what do you believe in, what governs your worldview, how you see the world. And I think in these days that we live in, it's more important than ever to have a sense of character, values, and so for us who are Christians, our point of reference is the person of Jesus Christ. Our values, principles, worldview, is it in line with the person of Christ's worldview? Is what he says in his word. So for gospel musicians, this becomes very important that we develop and we use Christ as our point of reference. The third C is consistency. Calling, character are important, but consistency is very critical. Because consistency is what separates also the men from the boys. Yeah? What is consistency? It's being able to perform certain actions or stay a certain course of actions over and over again repeatedly, and achieve certain results. Yeah. So, some of the hallmarks of consistency is vision. What is your vision? George Barna, the great church researcher who researches on trends, defined vision as a mental picture of a preferred future. I think for the Christian, vision is a God-given mental picture of a preferred future. Yeah. For you to be it, you have to see it. Yeah, you cannot be it if you don't see it. You have to put yourself in the shoes of God, who sees the end from the beginning. You know, the same way a carpenter sees when he looks at this tree we're sitting, this massive tree we're sitting under. He's not seeing branches, leaves, and fruit. No, he's seeing agonam got. He's seeing tables. He's seeing sculptures. He's seeing. So vision is a mental picture of a preferred future, and within our Christian worldview, it's a God-given mental picture of a preferred future. So if you're going to be consistent, you have to see the end from the beginning. You have to have a sense of vision. Yeah? You have to have a great sense of vision. And for me, what has kept me going is my vision. You know, I see an album before it's even finished. I see the type of songs I'm going to have on the album, the kind of emphasis in terms of message, you know, it's going to have as an album. I see that, I see the end from the beginning. I can see my launch concert a couple of months from now. I can see the output. I'm not yet there yet, you know. The results are not even in my hands, but I can see it. Because if you can't see it, you won't be it. Starts right there. So consistency, the foundation of consistency is vision. The second foundation of consistency is strategy. Yeah? Strategic. You have to be strategic. You know, what are your goals? Weekly goals, daily goals, monthly goals, yearly goals towards your vision. Yeah? And what is your execution plan? Many people have got great dreams but fail to execute. Everything falls and rises and falls on execution. And the part of the foundation of execution is strategy. How are you going to get where you're going? Yeah? Apart from just strategy, also systems. Yeah? Systems. What systems have you put in place? I see you've got a PA as Coach Mungate. You've got a personal assistant who will call people. I've got a personal assistant who I've just engaged. I'm still yet to use them very, you know, but now I'm moving towards that. Because if you're going to be effective, you need to have systems in place. Systems. Yeah? Systems. I'm on a weight loss journey. We want to talk about it just now. But I've had to going through a system of exercise, a system of eating. I don't just eat anything, anytime, anyhow. You know, it has been very special moments that I need to eat something. I've got a set time. I eat between 12 and 5 p.m. and it's one meal normally. Yeah. But there's a system that is in place for me to get successful. My goal is weight loss, and that's it. Then structure is also critical. What structures do you have in place? You know, Jesus gave an example that you cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. How structured are you in terms of, for success, are you as a person? So consistency is made up of all those things. You know, it's held up by all those things. Vision, strategy, systems and structure. Yeah. Then the fourth C that is critical is creativity. Be creative. Our God is a creative God. The fact that, you know, He created so many animals, you know, we created the lion, but there are also species of lion. If you go to the United States, they don't have the lions like they have here in Africa, the ones with manes, but they've got cougars, they have mountain lions, yeah? But God created species. We go to snakes, I don't know, even my favorite. There's no good snake except a dead one. But anyway, God created so many species of those things. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And He has a purpose. You go to rats, the different types of rats. So God is so creative. Trees, the different type of trees. So many different types of fruits. Even in apples, you have red apples, you've got granny apples, you've got this apple, that apple, this type of apple. Yeah. Even in the pears, so you find that God was so creative. Even when we look at human anatomy, you know, the fact that everything works together and in congruence with one another, and it's in cohesion, in synergy. Yeah. So the same thing with what we do and our purpose as human beings, especially musicians. Be creative. Don't be a photocopy of Pastor G. Don't be a photocopy, you know. Or be creative, because God is a creative God. Yeah, yeah. You're dealing with the things of form and function. Yeah, the form of something may change, but the function that it takes, that it has, remains the same. Yeah, the way we preach the gospel is changed. Now we have to do TikTok videos, 30 seconds, make sure that the message is out within 26 seconds. So when somebody who's reading, are you troubled? Do you need hope? I've got an answer for you. Yeah. You check, so it's different. So we have to be very creative now, because we're dealing with the generation whose attention is being competed for by so many various voices, even within the digital space. It's changed dramatically within the last 10 years, and especially COVID fast-tracked a lot of how we consume content and how we present content. So there is need for creativity. If you're going to be a creative and you're going to create content, you have to be very creative on how you do it. You can't just do it in J. It has to be creative. Yeah. Then the fifth word that is critical for people to be successful is the word capacity. Capacity. What is your capacity? Yeah, financial capacity, emotional capacity. Because emotional capacity is very critical. If you're not emotionally right, you will not be able to accomplish your dreams. You will not be successful, because emotions influence decisions, and decisions influence action. Yeah? So you have to have strong emotional capacity. Yeah? Strong emotional intelligence to read, you know, situation. You have to have mental capacity. Mental health is a big issue today, especially after the COVID pandemic. A lot of people went bonkers and crazy, you know, and people were traumatized by COVID. Yeah. So you have to have mental capacity as a person if you're going to be successful. Build your mental capacity, spiritual capacity. And that's where, as a Christian, for me, it's the most important aspect of my life is my spiritual capacity. Yeah. Because any dream for it to materialize has to be in you and in your heart and in your mind and in your soul before it has physical manifestation. Everything that you see, be it a house, be it a car, was in someone's spirit, in someone's mind, visualized, incubated. They thought over and mulled over what mechanical capacity was going to have. So you've got to have spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical capacity. Because physical wellness is also critical. Because no one is successful from the hospital bed. Wealth is wellness. If you're not well, you won't be wealthy, because you can't work. If you're not healthy, you can't be happy. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, Pastor G, for sharing those principles with us. I think they are a mouthful. And you mentioned something about health. And recently you posted something on your Facebook where you were talking about your weight loss journey,
yeah,
about some of the things that you encountered because of your weight. Please talk to us about that.
Yeah.
What really transpired?
Well, for me now, I am beginning of the year I was at 193 kgs. I decided to go on a weight loss journey, transformational journey, simply because I wanted to live longer and be able to to see my son, my last born, at least get into college, you know, and get into adulthood. So I started this transformation journey, but the number of things that I faced over the years, I was out of my weight, a lot of stigmatization, a lot of body shaming, you know, a lot of, you know, self-esteem issues, depression, you know, because you don't feel good about yourself, you know, and so, you know, so yeah, and so that's really where the journey came out from, because I want to be healthy, because health is happiness. I want to be well because wellness is wealth, yeah. And so for me, you know, the journey is simply just to transform, to get to 100 kgs. Then if I can after that get also to 90 kgs, 80 kgs, but 100 kgs will do me fine. You know, because we have to mitigate certain conditions. High blood pressure, sugar, yeah. I don't know what people see in sugar, but sugar, though sweet, is dangerous. Yeah, it's very dangerous because it if the body cannot assimilate it into the cells, it will become fat.
Pastor, talk to someone who might be facing, as you mentioned, body shaming or the depression.
Right.
Please talk to someone who might be in a similar state and is just maybe they've totally given up on life or they've surrendered. Please talk to someone. What would be your message to such a person?
My message to such a person is this. Listen, the truest thing that you'll ever know about yourself is what God says about you. The truest thing that you should ever believe about yourself is who or what God says about you. Yeah. Because God will tell you in the Bible, I know the plans that I have for you, because plans for your future, plans not to destroy you. Yeah? God would say to you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah? God would say so many things. But also God would say you are the temple of the Holy Spirit. So if we are with God's temple, we need to take care of the temple. If we need to lose weight to do that, what we can change. What we can't change, you can't change the color of your skin, or some have bleached. That's why sometimes you see them with black hands and the white body. But it's their own hands. But anyway, that's a sidebar. All I'm just saying is that what you can change. There's some things that you can't change. You can't change your height. Yeah? You can't change the size of your nose unless you're Michael Jackson and you have a plastic surgery, you know. The only thing that I can say, things will only change when you decide to change. Yeah. Things get better when you decide that I'm going to get better. I made up that decision. I used to have all sorts of excuses. So I would say to people, the truest thing that you ever know is what God says about you. God says you're fearfully and wonderfully made, you've got a purpose and you're loved. But also God says you're the temple of the Holy Spirit, so you need to take care of His temple. But also another thing that is important, that's very critical, is that exit your excuses. Come out from being just having excuses. I used to have all sorts of excuses. No, we are big bones. You know, our DNA, you know, even if you look at my mother's side, all of them are big people. So I'm a big person also. So get out of the excuse zone. Yeah. Once you get out of the excuse zone and you start pursuing what God has for you, you'll be successful. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And Offset, you were telling me that you're actually an author. Yes.
I'm an author. I've written a book called Indestructible, Lessons of Life and Music from My Journey. Yeah.
Please talk to us about what are some of the
things in the book.
Yeah, in the book.
Exactly what I just shared in this interview.
Everything.
Everything is from that book.
Oh, wow.
Consistency, character calling, you know, is from that book. I'm writing another book called, I'm still deciding what to call it, but it's Power for Now. You know, Laws of Transformation for Success. Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Pastor G, it's been wonderful.
It's been an honor to be on this show, Coach T.
I think maybe before we conclude the show, what would be your last words of motivation to the viewers watching today?
Life starts with decisions. Decide. Yeah. Change and success starts with decisions. Make decisions. Be decisive. Don't perambulate between two opinions. Be decisive. Yeah. Secondly, be determined. Be determined. Determination will get you places. Yeah. Those are the two things.
Super. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Pastor G for us on the Success Talks with Coach Tendai Mungate show. Please do subscribe to this channel to get more of these inspirational episodes, and follow us on all social media platforms at Success Talks with Coach T Mungate. And don't forget to get Pastor G's music, follow him on social media as well. But from me, Tendai Mungate, Pastor G, and the crew behind the scenes, thank you very much for watching this show. It's a wrap.